Hi, this is Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, my weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. Well, in the financial world, it's been a big week. With effect from Tuesday, the 1st of April, the Financial Conduct Authority came into being. And the FCA, as they're referred to, are now really in charge of all things financial. And the biggest change is around the framework now being put in place for crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending platforms. Now, I've mentioned this before, crowdfunding is where you've got private individuals who want to be matched with business owners to on-lend money. So what the government is saying through the FCA now, they just want to put some regulations, some guidelines around that. And so the FCA has now put these in place. So these bodies are now properly regulated, and that's going to give a lot more confidence to investors to put more money into this sector, including, as we mentioned in a previous video, that very soon you'll be able to put your ISA savings into crowdfunding platforms. So that's not actually in place yet, but clearly it's coming. But it's not only crowdfunding platforms that are going to be regulated by the FCA. People like ourselves here at Business Loan Services, we're commercial finance brokers, and we are also now coming under the FCA's remit. So if you're ever dealing with commercial finance brokers, just ask to see their FCA license number just to make sure they're properly licensed and well run. Now, I mentioned in a previous video about the government's announcement that it's thinking about legislating that banks will be forced to refer to other lenders where they've said no to a business. So where they've declined to help, at the moment the government's concerned that the business owner may just be going out the door. And so they want to think of a way of making it mandatory that the banks refer to alternative lenders or even to brokers like ourselves. Now, I say this is in a consultation stage, and a consultation paper was issued last week, and it's really just asking the broad questions. First of all, should banks be forced to refer where they've said no? If they are, well, what kind of information should be shared? Is it just a case of giving a name, an email address and a telephone number and giving that to another lender? Or should it be a broader information pack that's shared? Also, another question is, should it become mandatory, or should it be just solely with the permission of the small business owner? So that's at very early stages, and it'll be interesting to see what responses to those papers are and how all of that pans out. So what about the lending market generally? Well, the Bank of England this week came out with its quarterly credit conditions survey. This is a survey they do every quarter, just go to all the main lenders and say, what's your appetite for lending money at the moment? Well, perhaps not surprisingly, the results have come out just saying that all the banks are up for doing business, and that for the 6th consecutive quarter, the availability of money that they want to make available has increased. And the banks are saying that's because of two main reasons. Number one, their policies are beginning to get a little bit relaxed, and so they're willing to lend more. But also, they're seeing that the economy is improving and picking up, and that's giving them more confidence to lend. So that's good news. And as we've said before, don't make the assumption that the bank's going to say no. Make sure you go knocking on the door and ask. Something else that caught my eye this week, a bit quirky, late payment is one of the reasons why business owners have to go to a bank, primarily for an overdraft facility, because payments are due and it's hitting cash flow. Well, if you're a big contractor and you're going to be doing work with Surrey County Council, they've said that what they expect now is if the deal is being done on 30-day terms, and that's what I'm paying you, Mr. Big Contractor, I'm paying you in 30 days, I expect you to be paying your subcontractors within that same 30-day period. So it just means that everything is gelled together and everybody is matched. And that's quite a great way of just making sure that small firms are not held to ransom by the bigger contractors. So if you're working in the Surrey area and you're doing some subcontracting work for County Council, hopefully you won't suffer from any major cash flow problems. And that's a really good initiative to see. And let's hope that perhaps other county councils will follow suit. So what's my tip for you this week? Well, earlier this week, I was sitting in on a bank review meeting. One of my clients asked me to come along. They had an annual review with the bank manager and just wanted me along as well, just to go through the process and make sure that everything ticks along okay. So the tip for you this week is really about preparation. Now, what did we do before that meeting? Well, first of all, we made sure that the bank manager in advance had the annual accounts and the management accounts. So all the financial information. And the key is about sending it in advance. Because what it meant was at the meeting, we really cut to the chase. It's a case of the bank manager had already looked at the information and already had their questions of areas of clarification at the meeting. So it made the meeting much quicker, much snappier, because everyone was well prepared. If you've got projections, again, send them on. A business plan or an outline, fine, send it in. The more information they have, the better. And when you're at the meeting, it's just a case of sharing where you are now. Remember, they may not have seen you or the business for a year or so give them an idea of what's been going on over the last 12 months and where the business stands today. And the next part of the meeting then is really sharing plans of where you want to be. You're just talking about what your goals and your ambitions and objectives are for the business over the next 12 months, particularly if you think there's going to be a borrowing requirement. It's better to actually give the bank some advance notice. Do you know, in 6 months' time, we're probably going to be coming to you with a loan request of whatever it may be. It just warms them up and just gives a feel that you're in control of this business and that you are planning ahead, because that's all good stuff that bank managers like to see. So that's my tip. If you've got your annual review meeting coming up, be well prepared. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. As ever, if you did enjoy it, please like it and share it and send it amongst your colleagues. It'd be great to have some feedback from you as well, as always. So that's it. So have a great and profitable week, and I look forward to being with you again same time next week. Bye now.